In the theater of the mind, a ceaseless performance unfolds. Each character, an aspect of self, each dialogue, an internal monologue, a constant conversation, a persistent debate shaping thoughts, ideas, decisions. Imagine a bustling city, the hum of a million conversations. That's the brain, the epicenter of your internal monologue. It's a dialogue with the self, a reflection on the world, a rehearsal of potential futures. The key player? The prefrontal cortex, the brain's executive suite. It scripts your internal monologue, conducts the symphony of thoughts, orchestrates the narrative of your life. Yet this chatter isn't merely idle talk, it's a tool, a guide, a mentor. It helps navigate reality, craft identities, mold perceptions. So tune in, listen. Your internal monologue, your silent partner, is speaking. While some may seek to quiet this voice, others harness its power, channeling it to fuel creativity, drive ambition, and spark inspiration. A constant companion, it's the voice of reason, the whisper of intuition, the echo of memory. In the end, your internal monologue isn't just a conversation, it's a journey, a story, an exploration. It's the narrative of you. So, engage with it, learn from it. After all, it's your mind's own voice. Your internal monologue, your silent partner is always speaking. Are you listening? Welcome to Thangs, where we delve deep into the mysteries of the mind. Today we're exploring the silent world of internal monologues. Join us as we navigate the inner dialogues that guide, inspire, and sometimes deceive us. The concept of an internal monologue, often referred to as inner speech or self-talk, is a fundamental aspect of human cognition and psychology. It involves the silent or subvocal conversation one has with oneself, which can influence various facets of behavior, emotion regulation, problem-solving, and decision-making. Understanding the intricacies of internal monologue requires exploring its functions, characteristics, and variations among individuals, as well as its implications for mental health and cognitive processes. Functions and characteristics: self-regulation and guidance. Internal monologue acts as a regulatory mechanism, guiding individuals through tasks, decision-making processes, and emotional regulation. It helps in setting goals, planning, and executing actions. Problem-solving. It plays a critical role in problem-solving, allowing individuals to deliberate on possible solutions internally before taking action. Memory consolidation. Inner speech can aid in the consolidation of memory by repeating information to oneself, thus reinforcing memory retention. Reflection and introspection. It enables reflection on past experiences, allowing individuals to analyze their behavior, emotions, and reactions. This reflective process is crucial for personal growth and self-awareness. Social simulation. Internal monologue can simulate conversations with others, preparing individuals for actual social interactions. This can help in rehearsing what to say or predicting others' responses. Variations among individuals. Vividness and complexity. The vividness and complexity of an individual's internal monologue can vary widely. Some people experience a rich, detailed inner voice, while others have a more abstract or less verbal internal thought process. Absence of internal monologue. Not everyone experiences an internal monologue in the traditional sense. Some individuals report thinking in images, emotions, or even sensory experiences rather than words. Psychological perspectives. Cognitive psychology. From a cognitive perspective, internal monologue is seen as an essential component of working memory and executive function, facilitating the manipulation and organization of information in the mind. Psychoanalytic theory. Psychoanalytic theories, particularly those of Freud, might interpret the internal monologue as a conversation between different parts of the psyche, for example, the ego, ID, and superego. Developmental psychology. Vygotsky, a Soviet psychologist, emphasized the role of inner speech in the development of thought and reasoning in children, suggesting that external speech becomes internalized as inner speech over time. Implications for mental health. Positive versus negative self-talk. The nature of one's internal monologue can significantly impact mental health. Positive self-talk can enhance self-esteem and motivation, while negative self-talk can lead to increased stress, anxiety, and depression. Mindfulness and meditation. Practices such as mindfulness and meditation can help individuals become more aware of their internal monologue and learn to engage with their thoughts more constructively. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. CBT often targets maladaptive patterns of internal monologue, helping individuals to challenge and reframe negative thoughts, which can lead to improved mental health outcomes. In conclusion, Understanding and harnessing one's internal monologue can be a powerful tool for personal development, emotional regulation, and cognitive efficiency. It's a complex phenomenon that varies widely among individuals, reflecting the diversity of human cognition and psychological experience. Awareness and intentional engagement with one's internal monologue can foster greater mental resilience, enhance problem-solving abilities, and contribute to overall psychological well-being. Next, we will explore some obscure and less commonly known aspects of internal monologue. Exploring the lesser-known aspects of internal monologue can unveil intriguing facets that span psychology, neuroscience, cultural studies, and even the realms of the occult and speculative theories. The silent speech phenomenon. Subvocalization. This process involves minor throat muscle movements during thought, akin to silent speaking. It implies that internal monologue partially engages the body, hinting at a physical aspect to cognitive processes. This phenomenon bridges the gap between purely mental activities and physical reactions, suggesting a fascinating intersection between thought and subtle bodily movements. Subvocalization not only suggests a physical dimension to internal thought processes, but also has been studied for its implications in cognitive science and assistive technology. For instance, researchers are exploring how capturing subvocal signals could aid in developing communication aids for individuals who are nonverbal. Moreover, this phenomenon underlines the interconnectedness of language processing centers in the brain and the motor functions involved in speech, highlighting the complexity of thought and language. Cultural variation in internal monologue. Cross-cultural differences. Research highlights how internal monologue varies across cultures, with some prioritizing visual or sensory thinking over verbal dialogue. This variance underscores the profound impact of linguistic and cultural backgrounds on cognitive processes, suggesting that the way individuals think can be deeply rooted in their cultural upbringing and linguistic environment. The variation in internal monologue across cultures extends beyond just the preference for visual or sensory thinking over verbal dialogue. It also encompasses how individuals from different cultures might use internal dialogue for self-reflection, decision-making, and emotional regulation. This suggests that internal monologue, far from being a universal human experience, is deeply shaped by linguistic, educational, and social norms, which in turn influence cognitive patterns and mental habits. The link to reading and writing, internal monologue and literacy. The development of internal monologue is intricately tied to literacy, with theories proposing that reading and writing influence internal dialogue's nature. This connection might explain the variance in inner voice vividness, highlighting literacy's role in shaping cognitive inner landscapes and suggesting a developmental aspect to internal monologue formation. The theory linking internal monologue with literacy skills is supported by studies showing that engaging with written language enhances one's ability to articulate thoughts internally. This relationship is bidirectional. As literacy levels increase, so does the complexity and richness of the internal monologue. This insight has profound implications for education, suggesting that fostering literacy is not just about teaching reading and writing, but also about enriching cognitive and internal dialogic capacities. The role of internal monologue in creativity, creative thinking. Theories propose that a vivid internal monologue can foster creativity by enabling individuals to internally discuss and refine ideas. This internal discourse can serve as a catalyst for innovation, providing a mental sandbox for creative exploration and problem-solving, indicating the cognitive flexibility provided by an active inner dialogue. The notion that internal monologue fosters creativity is further supported by psychological research indicating that internal dialogue plays a critical role in brainstorming, problem-solving, and the creative synthesis of ideas. Creatives often report conversations with themselves as part of their creative process, highlighting the role of internal monologue in pushing the boundaries of imagination and innovation. Neurodiversity and internal monologue. Variations among neurodiverse individuals. Studies on neurodiversity, including ASD and ADHD, show unique manifestations of internal monologue, affecting information processing and interaction. This research highlights the diversity in cognitive experiences among neurodiverse populations, emphasizing the need for a nuanced understanding of how internal dialogues differ. Investigations into the internal monologues of neurodiverse individuals have illuminated the diverse ways in which people experience thought and consciousness. For example, some individuals with ASD might experience a more visual or pattern-based form of internal dialogue, which can influence their learning styles and interpersonal communication. Understanding these variations is crucial for developing more inclusive educational strategies and social supports. Occult and mystical perspectives, Thoughtforms and Tulpa. In mystical traditions, the concept of Thoughtforms or Tulpas, entities born from concentrated thought and internal dialogue, suggests a belief in the power of the mind to affect reality. This perspective underscores the mystical dimensions of internal monologue, positing a fascinating link between concentrated thought and tangible outcomes. The practices surrounding the creation of Thoughtforms or Tulpas not only offer a mystical perspective on the power of the mind, but also parallel contemporary discussions in psychology about the nature of consciousness and the placebo effect. The belief in Tulpas underscores the potential of focused thought and intention in shaping one's perception of reality, offering a unique lens through which to explore the boundaries between the psychological and the metaphysical. Theories on consciousness, integrated information theory, IYT. IYT suggests a correlation between the richness of internal monologue and consciousness complexity, proposing that a detailed inner dialogue reflects a higher level of consciousness integration. This theory offers a compelling framework for understanding consciousness, emphasizing the role of internal dialogue in cognitive complexity. IYT's connection with internal monologue provides a fascinating framework for understanding consciousness not just as a byproduct of brain complexity, but as a phenomenon that is deeply intertwined with the nature and structure of our internal dialogue. This theory posits that the more integrated and differentiated a system's information processing is, the higher its level of consciousness, suggesting a quantitative method for assessing the richness of an individual's subjective experience. Conspiracy theories and mind control. Subvocal recognition technology. While subvocal recognition technology is being developed for assistive purposes, conspiracy theories speculate on its potential misuse for surveillance or control. This controversial discussion highlights societal concerns about privacy and the implications of technology capable of decoding internal dialogues. While the development of subvocal recognition technology has promising applications in fields such as assistive technology and secure communications, it also raises significant ethical and privacy concerns. The fear of such technologies being used for covert surveillance or control reflects broader societal anxieties about privacy, autonomy, and the potential misuse of advanced technologies. Philosophical debates, the language of thought hypothesis, LOTH. Jerry Fodor's LOTH, which posits thinking in a mental language, raises questions about the universality and variability of internal monologue. This hypothesis invites debate on the nature of thought and internal dialogue, pondering if these experiences are innate or influenced by external factors. The language of thought hypothesis not only challenges us to reconsider the nature of thought itself, but also invites exploration into how thoughts are represented in the mind. This hypothesis suggests that our mental lexicon might be composed of a series of mental symbols that are manipulated according to a set of syntactic rules, similar to language. This perspective opens up intriguing questions about the universality of these mental symbols and their relationship to the languages we speak. The inner silence phenomenon, absence of internal monologue, reports of inner silence, or minimal internal dialogue challenge the notion of a universal internal monologue. This phenomenon opens up discussions on cognitive diversity, suggesting that the human experience of thought can vary widely, from rich internal dialogues to profound inner quietude. The phenomenon of inner silence challenges prevailing assumptions about the nature of thought and consciousness. It raises fundamental questions about how we conceptualize thinking and whether there are alternative modes of cognition that do not rely on verbal or visual internal dialogue. This condition provides a unique perspective on the mind, suggesting that the absence of an internal monologue does not equate to a lack of thought or intelligence, but rather points to a different way of engaging with the world. The exploration of the internal monologue opens a window into the private theater of the human mind, where silent conversations shape our perception, actions, and very essence. This introspective journey into inner speech reveals a complex interplay between thought, language, and consciousness, highlighting the profound impact of our internal dialogues on personal development, mental health, and creativity. But what does the variability of internal monologue among individuals tell us about the nature of thought and consciousness? Are these inner dialogues merely reflections of our social and cultural environments, or do they reveal deeper, perhaps universal aspects of the human condition? Furthermore, the phenomenon of inner silence challenges the assumption that an internal dialogue is a ubiquitous aspect of human cognition, raising intriguing questions about the diversity of cognitive experiences across the human spectrum. The potential of subvocal recognition technology introduces ethical dilemmas and philosophical debates about privacy and the sanctity of personal thought. Could the ability to read internal monologues transform our understanding of the mind, or does it risk violating the last bastion of personal freedom? As we stand at the intersection of cognitive psychology, neuroscience, and philosophy, we invite our viewers to ponder the mysteries of the internal monologue. What is the role of inner speech in your life? How do you navigate the dialogue within? Share your experiences and thoughts in the comments below, and let us know what topics related to the mind and consciousness you'd like us to explore next. Thank you for journeying with us through the landscapes of the mind. If you've ever been fascinated or puzzled by your own internal monologue, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Top Thangs. Dive into the conversation below. Share how your inner voice speaks to you and what mysteries of the mind you'd like us to uncover next. Remember, the dialogue within is the key to understanding the universe without. Thank you for watching Top Thangs.